So as I have met classical conversations, parents and families from all different places of the country, I've just heard a common recurring theme among the parents of the 10, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And that is, I don't think my child is ready for Challenge A. And so I'm considering another year of foundations, essentials. And so I just kind of want to address this because I think that if we understand truly the vision and mission behind classical education and what is really motivating classical conversations, that will help us in that decision. So classical conversations was originated, as you know, with Lee doing challenge, then realizing they didn't have the pegs filled in the memory work. So she created the memory work for foundations and then the grammar and writing in the essentials so that the kids would be ready for just exciting learning and discussion with challenge. So one thing that we forget is we believe still, so many of us have the modern education mindset that says we are going to school for content. We're supposed to just be learning content so that we will be educated and therefore can live our lives as adults. Whereas classical education looks at the whole person and what is their development? How did God create them at the age of 5? What are they doing in their minds and in their physical abilities, spiritually as well at that age? What about age 8? What about 9, 10? What about 13, 14? So as they looked at that, that is really then what gave them the motivation to say, hey, let's do essentials at age 9, because that's when the brain starts to be ready for that more dialectic movement of asking questions and answering them and the gift of wonder, right? So at the age of 12, we start to see a shift in our children where they're ready to challenge a little bit, ask questions. They want to talk about things a lot, describe a lot in stories and just talk and talk and talk. And so that truly is what Challenge A provides. If you'll notice, if you look at the master's class of foundations in that second semester, it is crazy, that shift. Even after Christmas break, that first meeting back in January, you will see the masters are bored. They're bored. They get it. They know the memory work. They understand it. So they are ready to speak. They're ready to challenge. And that is exactly what Challenge A provides for them. And the age requirements that CC has put, being age 12 by September 30th, is so valid and it's perfect. So if your child fits in that, they are ready physically, emotionally, and mentally. Some say, but they didn't get 3 years of essentials, or they only had 1 year of essentials, or we only got a semester of foundations. You know what? That is awesome, perfect. It is just fine. It is just enough. Even if your child had no foundations or essentials, Challenge A is created for their developmental age, for their brain at that moment. And so it is perfect for them and they are ready to take it on. I have seen kids succeed who come into Challenge A without any homeschool or classical background, and they just eat it up and they're great. Yeah, it takes a little bit to turn the wheel and get them rolling, but because of where their brains are at and they're so young and plastic, they just grab it and run. One thing we need to remember, our adult brains aren't as moldable and pliable as those younger kids. So we are viewing it as if we were all of a sudden being plunged into Challenge A with Henley Latin 1 and all of the cartography drawing and all of that, and it seems so hard and overwhelming. But we're not 12. And that's what 12-year-olds love. That's what they're excited for. They're created at that moment to learn language, to apply it, especially if they have had any essentials. Latin with Challenge A is so simple compared to essentials. So that's why new kids can come in and handle the Henley as well, because it truly is very, very basic. The hardest part of Challenge A Latin is memorizing the new vocab. People ask me, well, should I do something extra in the summer before Challenge A to prep them? I am a huge proponent of no, rest. Let everything settle that they learned in that previous school year. Kids need time for that information to settle in and to just kind of filter through, and let them grow, let them enjoy, and not always inputting. If we're constantly inputting information, oh, they need to learn more, they hit a max and they can't. So we have to allow time for that sand of all that information to settle down into them, so that makes room for the new information to come in. And that's what Challenge A provides. Challenge A is extremely grammar focused. It's not very heavy in the dialectic. So they are just going in the right direction in what they're doing. So many times we think of education as a stepladder. I learned this, so I'm ready now to progress to this, and up we go. That is not classical education working. How it works with CC is like cutting into a lasagna. You cut down and you get all the lasagna layers, the noodles, the cheese, the meat sauce. And so if you only took one step, I'd only get a noodle, right? So that is the depth of how CC works. So they're looking at so much more than content. They're looking at the whole, all of the layers of our kids. They're where they are at spiritually, what they're ready to grab on emotionally and developmentally. So I highly, highly recommend, no matter the background that your child has, to go ahead and, if they fit in that age level, age 12 by September 30th, enroll in Challenge A. They will thank you. If you kept them in foundations, they will be so bored and miserable. Challenge helps our parenting because it meets a huge need inside of our children that honestly most of us have no idea even exists. This helps our relationship because it provides them an outlet to voice their thoughts and opinions in a positive way and learn how to do that. The Holy Spirit is working through that year and through each CC Community Day as they discuss and learn. And the Holy Spirit is weaving all of those dots together. And yes, we still need to be involved as parents, but as always, but I just want you to know that you can take this leap of faith, and it is the most beautiful thing, and honestly, your students will thank you.